From too much rain in Florida to a drought and a heat wave across a good bit of the country, and now new Gulf threats. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice, keeping you updated along the way here. Yeah, the GFS won't let its guard down on this Gulf low, and the Atlantic has two other areas that we're watching right now. Folks, if you're new to this channel, I'll provide constant updates of tropical season, winter season, severe weather season. So please like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications for more updates as we get deeper into this season. Let's get closer in on what's happening right now across Florida. This stationary front just will not go away. This is now another day where we've had just too much rain in too short a period of time for areas like Miami southbound. It's going to be raining again throughout the day on Fridays. A stalled front is there. That's going to lead to some isolated flooding in some locations. Meanwhile, the rest of the East Coast dry as a bone. In fact, gearing up for a heat wave in many areas as the heat continues to grow. Now, by this weekend, that stationary front begins to pull away by Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday does look to be a drier day across Florida, but it is going to start to turn really hot, and this big ridge of high pressure is going to begin to build in. But do we have a coastal low forming here off the Carolinas, and does that have some kind of tropical entity? That's area number one we're watching. Area number two is deeper out. That could be named Gabrielle into next week. Nonetheless, we got to watch this coastal low right here. Some of the models today, including the European, have it moving inland, along with an upper level low that could bring some rain to the Carolinas mid next week, which would cancel out that regular scheduled heat wave that was trying to come on in. Let's look closer at the ridge that's coming in. This ridge is going to be responsible for a lot of heat building in. But here's the deal. I've noticed in the past few runs of the models a little bit of a face showing up here. Doesn't that look interesting? Well, it's almost like two eyes and a nose. Well, actually, that's just the ridge going a little bit to the west, and what goes up must come down, and right in here you have a little cutoff low trying to form Saturday and the Sunday, and in this case this thing tries to crop it up here into a little cutoff low from the jet stream. That spells trouble because anytime the jet stream is buckled up here, jet stream's still way up here, this thing would just be kind of floating along to its own devices. And this model, the European I should say, shows a little low forming here and just kind of meandering across the Carolinas. So what this could mean, if it does form, would be rain and quite a bit of it. Let's back this model up. This is the midday run. Shows that low getting cut off Sunday at some point, and then bringing in quite a bit of rain for eastern North Carolina, the coast of South Carolina, South Georgia through Florida. Tuesday into Wednesday, it's still bringing in some rain here, and we'll have to watch that system, see if it does try to get a little tropical. Right now, there's no hatched area on that. That's just an area that I think we need to stay dialed in on, and it could be a lot of rain here, either offshore or just onshore here for South Carolina. And the previous European run actually shows quite a bit of rain moving onshore over the next week here for especially South Carolina. So next week could be very wet if the European has its way. The big deal is going to be the temperatures, though. Look at how it builds. Friday afternoon, we're talking about mid to upper 90s back toward the west. Now, certainly warmer in the Carolinas, Georgia, and Alabama, and Tennessee, but it looks like the hottest of the hot has slid just a little bit towards you folks in the middle part of the country, Arkansas, Louisiana, up through Missouri, upper Midwest talking about some heat as well. While it cools down at night, it warms up along the East Coast Saturday and Sunday, but here's where that real heat is found, hazardous heat, in fact, mid to upper 90s locked in back that way. Now, Florida, you're going to get some more rain. Looks like you're going to get a couple of different rounds of it. Let me back this model run up. Could be some pretty good soaking rain. Here's Friday afternoon. Friday night football games could have some impacts from I-4 south. We'll watch that closely here across Florida. Look at all that rainfall by Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. We got some lingering boundaries here that could just make for quite a soaking for the lower half of Florida here. So I want you to know that any kind of Friday evening plans you have, just count on it being wet, like you know to expect this time of the year. But this is quite a bit of rain after days and days of a lot of rain. So we're going to look for that to try to crop back up Saturday. But I think Friday is by far our wettest day. In fact, as I look at the rainfall totals on this latest high-resolution model, it shows we could pile up this rain in a short period of time here. Some of these reds are 3+, maybe 4+ inches around Miami, West Palm, and we'll be watching that closely in the coming days. As far as lightning is concerned, many of you in Florida are going to get some lightning and some thunder as we go I-4 south. Look at all this. It is very electrical Friday afternoon along with that torrential rain. Now, the opposite is happening toward Arkansas, Tennessee, up through the Midwest. We got a drought that is settling in, and a pretty hefty one. And this heat wave is not going to make things any better. In fact, NOAA making this forecast valid for all of September, showing that the drought development will form in the Midwest if it's not already, or it may persist and get worse in those other areas. So what could change that? Tropical weather, folks. Yeah, we got a new area that was highlighted yesterday by the National Hurricane Center. This has about a 30% chance of forming. Now, are we worried about this yet? No. Are we worried about the Gulf Coast for the GFS? No. Remember, folks, my goal, as always, is to prepare you, not to scare you. I will let you know when it's time to get concerned, and right now, I'm not overly concerned about it. Do we need to keep checking in on it? Yes, because the models do show something making landfall in the United States within 10 days. That would be the GFS model. So is it exactly right? Is it gospel? Absolutely not. But we do have this dry Saharan dust that does look to be slacking up. So what does that mean? Well, let's look through the GFS. This is the very latest model. I'm going to show you the whole thing wide. I'm going to zoom in, show you a couple different features, and we'll get granular with it. So let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. Are you in Florida right now? Are you along the Gulf Coast? Are you in Texas? Many of you have said hello to me. I'm going to bring up your comments from our last video and say hello in just a moment. But let's get into what the GFS is showing, because this is the most interesting part here, folks. It does look like we're going to meet Gabrielle here. Now, while your attention's there, don't discount what's happening in the Gulf and the Caribbean, all right? I won't let you miss it. Here we are Tuesday. Got this low developing and getting stronger. Meanwhile, you've got 1,005 low in the Caribbean. Uh-oh. That's the hottest spot of the Caribbean, of the entire Atlantic Basin, actually, because it is very warm. That's like fuel for hurricanes. And in this case, we'll look for that to possibly begin to develop a low pressure system, a 995 off the Bay of Campeche, Yucatan Peninsula right here. Meanwhile, this system's way out here in the Atlantic and looks to be safe from you folks in the islands. Who's watching in the islands right now? I know many of you have been tuning in, and hey, your trust in this forecasting means the world to me. So please continue to keep checking back in. When it's time to be concerned or be monitoring this, I'll let you know, but right now we're not there. Mexico, we need to look out for this potential low pressure. Who's watching in Mexico right now? I know some of you were for Aaron, and we were watching the potential for Gabrielle. Well, it may be a race to see who becomes Gabrielle next week, to be honest with you. You got Thursday, you got a low here and a low here. Actually, this one over the Yucatan is actually stronger. As we go deeper in the forecast here, this does show it migrating north next weekend. This would be next Friday night into Saturday. A compact low, likely a tropical storm or a Cat 1, would begin moving north. This is a 984, 987, 977, going toward the Bay of Campeche, the Big Bend region, from the Bay of Campeche. This would be next weekend, next Sunday, making landfall along the Big Bend region, Cedar Key, up through Panhandle, and going into South Georgia, Savannah, Brunswick, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and it kicks out to sea. That would be through Sunday of next weekend through the 24th, that Wednesday. So we'd have to watch that closely, folks. That could be a higher impact storm system if the GFS has its way. Now let's look in closer at what that would look like. Here we are timing-wise. Got this 997 coming out. Now it's up here. Now we got a hurricane likely next Friday, the 20th, a week from now, and it would go up through the Big Bend region of Florida. All right, so where in Florida are we watching? Some of the models here are showing a landfalling tropical system. Again, am I stressed about it? No. Folks, you got to take this for what it's worth, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't hype things, but I do certainly be transparent when I'm forecasting for you. That comes with a little bit of responsibility from you. I'm not asking you to go out to the water cooler tomorrow and say, I saw that Chris Justice guy tell me it's going to be a hurricane here next week. Well, no. You should say, hey, that Chris Justice guy says there could be one, and we need to keep checking out. Now, if I'm in Florida, if I'm living there, if I'm visiting there, I'm not stressed about it. I'm not canceling plans. I'm going about my business, but I'm certainly checking back in on this, and I will keep you posted on this. This is certainly a pattern that we have seen, and in this case, just like when I'm winter weather forecasting, and when there is pattern recognition in place, you have to dial in on it, and here we are looking at the possibility of a tropical system the models have shown, not shown. The pattern's there. The time of the year is there. This is the time of year that you would see a system come up like that. So we'll be watching that closely. And does it move along the coast or does it go inland? That would be the question we would need to iron out. As far as peak winds with this system, we'll need to watch it closely here. As far as the wind gust swath here, we can look closer at that. This would show a tropical storm or a hurricane coming inland of Florida. It would not be a big bad hurricane. You see 38, 40, 45 mile per hour winds from Charleston to Savannah. You know, the Big Bend region of Florida, just north of Sarasota, Tampa, we're talking 75, maybe Cat 1 hurricane. But the rain is always a big concern for flooding. In this scenario, you'd have 7+ inches of rain. That would cause inland flooding. That would be the most devastating and deadly part of the storm. Whereas upstate South Carolina would get 0 rain from this if the GFS solution were correct. But let's look closer at the 12Z model run. It had a system coming onshore of Louisiana and then moving north. All right, you see that there. Let's go 2 runs back, 6Z. It had it back over the Big Bend region of Florida. So 2 out of the last 3 runs have been Florida. 1 has been New Orleans. And then you go back 3 model runs, you got Mexico and Texas. So 2 runs right there in Florida with 1 run a little bit farther to the south and west over Texas and Mexico. So those could be interesting areas that we'll need to watch closely there. Got that. Thank you, Zach. As we keep watching this, we're going to keep seeing things as we roll on through. All right, so let's look at the European model. It has been showing the system in the Atlantic. It's got this interesting, more aggressive low over the southeast. And as it goes deeper in the forecast here, look at this. You've got this Gabrielle type feature here, but it does not even really have lower pressure here in the Caribbean or the Gulf. So let's use the last full run of the European. And as I go out, all the attention from the European is here and here. I don't even see much lower pressure through next weekend here across the Gulf of the Caribbean. It's just not buying it. So again, is the GFS on to something? Is it early identification of something? It very well could be, because the European is not picking up on it at all. And any of the waves that go out with the European stay out to sea and get nowhere near the United States. That would go all the way through the 26th of September. As far as the European AI is concerned, let's just map that out. It's got a little low pressure system. It's actually quite formidable here early next week. Does it get a tropical depression or a little name? Maybe. Euro AI shows lower pressure here across Cuba, Jamaica, parts of the islands. It's got this Gabrielle type feature getting closer to the islands than any of the other models. This is the Euro AI. It also kind of rides this thing weaker goes west, 24th, 25th, 26th, near the Turks and Caicos. Then it wants to slide it on out of here at 26th, 27th. But it doesn't have a landfalling system anywhere near the United States. How about the European ensemble? Let's average out all 51 different model runs, give us a broad brush look. It's got Gabrielle forming, turning northeast. It's got nothing else. It doesn't have anything else at all. As I look at the ensemble plots, here's the European ensembles kicking out to sea and not being a threat there. So again, it's worth noting that the GFS has done pretty well here lately. And as we move deeper in the forecast period here, how much of that GFS is what we should be putting stock in, okay? Because the GFS honestly has not been doing so bad here lately. And if it continues to be doing and performing somewhat well, it's something we'll need to keep an eye on here. So again, something to watch, something to keep an eye on, and as we move forward into this forecast period, we'll be able to answer those questions for you. So again, the key here is to stay tuned, not to stay stressed, not to be worried about it. If I had a vacation anywhere in Florida right now, I'd be keeping it. I think I would not be canceling anything at all. So what do you guys got for me? So each night I like to look back at the comments from our last video and say hello to many of you, and that's what we're looking at here. So watching this closely here for you guys. Mark says, greetings, Chris, Pensacola here. It was hot again today in the mid-90s. At least it was not in the low 100s. Yeah, that's coming for some folks in the United States. Thanks for the warning last night. As you say, it's still early on an absolute determination. Please just keep up the good work. We're always paying attention. Regards, Mark. Hey, Mark, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you for watching me in Pensacola. I love the Panhandle. My family and I are usually bopping between Panama City, Destin, somewhere in there. It's a blast. We just love that area. You live in paradise for sure. Dave from Jensen Beach checking in with you after the National Weather Service NOAA folks were all fired. It's a huge relief to find you and feel like someone is on our side. Thank you. David, that means a lot. And yeah, I've got many friends at NOAA. They do great work. They certainly have been higher staffed before, if you know what I mean. But they still are able to put out a good product, and many colleagues that I have work there. So thank you for your kind words, and I'm happy to kind of step in and be a source for you guys in a way, right? That means a lot. I love what I do, and it means a lot to be the trusted source for you for any kind of severe weather like this. Sean from Wilmington, Delaware, Delmarva. I think this has been the quietest hurricane season I've seen. Lackluster activity and no landfalls. I'm not looking for that, but I'm used to summer being on the lookout for hurricanes. Then it barely snows in the mid-Atlantic. Tornado Alley has also moved. Our landmass is moving. Yeah, lots of good questions there, Sean. I'm with you there. We are way overdue for a mid-Atlantic biggin, snow-wise. So we're going to be starting thinking about that moving forward. Certainly climatology, history would tell us that we are way due for a big mid-Atlantic snow. I'll be keeping you posted along the way with that as well. So thank you for being here, Sean. Sure appreciate you. Sharon, watching from Broward County, Florida. Thank you for your updates. Yeah, you've been socking lately. We'll keep you posted on anything tropical that could be heading your way. Palm Harbor, Florida, in the house. I absolutely love how you deliver the news. I really appreciate being given an honest delivery without the scare tactics. Thank you. Hey, thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me. Got my friends from Sebring, Florida. Hello to you. Good morning. Good morning. South Florida watching. I watch every single morning. Dan, seriously, thank you. You're the best. The only place we watch for weather. Dan, thank you so much. That means the world to me. Bill says, thank you for keeping us informed on what's happening in the tropics from Hobe Sound, Florida. All right. Thanks, Bill. Kimberly, dialing in from Fort Myers Beach, Florida. Thank you for the updates. Never any hype, just honesty and expertise. I, for one, appreciate that. You're my number one chief meteorologist. Kimberly, thank you. Made my day. All right, what else we got here? Hi, Chris, watching from Lakeland, Florida. All right. Love Lakeland. Running around Orlando quite often, so we'll wave at you as we're going through, right? What else we got here? We're always in and around Florida. Florida's like our second home. Thank you, sir, for the update. Amen. Watching from Pickens, South Carolina. Thank you for keeping me updated. Greatly appreciated. We got Danielsville, Georgia in the house. Thank you, Paul. It's great to see you in Central Florida. It's hot. No AC for 4 days now. No. I hope you get it back on soon. What a bad time to be without AC. Yeah, it's been super hot and humid. Hendersonville, Sugar Hollow Farms. Great weatherman. Thank you. Hey, you bet. Let's see what else we got here. Thank you so much for the No Hype updates. Watching from Sugarland, Texas. Another channel showing a storm coming to Texas. Do you see the same? These clickbaiters keep us worried. No. I do see a possibility. GFS has hinted at it a couple of different times. If you do get a storm, there's nothing on any of the models right now that's more than a Cat 1. Not to say you should let your guard down at a Cat 1. Cat 1s can be certainly very dangerous. Tropical storms can be very dangerous. But I'm not seeing anything big, bad, and ugly. But certainly we could have some impacts if the GFS has its way. Hello from the upstate. Thank you for the update. Greetings from Trinidad in the Caribbean. Hi, Paula. Thank you so much. Tell your friends and family. And hello to you. Hello from Puerto Rico. Thank you. Downstate Mount Pleasant, solidly overcast today, but thankfully no rain. Barry Island says it rained all night on the Space Coast, but now the front has moved to South Florida. Yeah, South Florida's now getting it. I think it flares back up a little farther north tomorrow, though. Good morning, Chris, from Louisiana, the west suburb of Metro NOLA. Been following you since last season, and I must say you're the absolute very best of the best. Wondering what the potential tropical forecast will do for the Metro New Orleans and South Louisiana area this season. So far, it's just been hot, humid, and quiet. I trust your forecasting, dear friend, very highly. Timothy, thank you so much. Let me see if I can say your name. Metairie, Louisiana. I had a boss that was from Louisiana, born and raised. So she was starting to teach me a lot of the different vernaculars of the different cities, and I'm still learning. So thank you for being here, first of all. Second of all, to answer your question, there's no model that shows anything major coming your way. The GFS has been the most aggressive. Probably every other run, it is showing some sort of impacts for you in Louisiana for tropical systems. But right now, it would be what you would expect. It would be a little wind, a lot of rain. I know you don't want to have any kind of flooding threats. But, we'll be watching it. The GFS has shown the most aggressive threats for you, but even that has been Cat 1-ish. So something to certainly stay dialed in on. But right now, I'm not overly concerned about it until maybe the GFS has maybe the European or even the Google DeepMind has been really accurate at picking up on early threats. So far, I'm just not really seeing that. Rose says, good morning from Sarasota. The heat is back. Thank you. And yes, you are. You're great at your forecasts. Do you think anything will come toward Florida? The GFS today is showing every other run. It's possible, but not likely at this point. We'll be watching it. We got Florida in the house. Hi, Sarah. Southwest Florida viewer here. Yeah, did I say Gulf of America? I may have said Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico. I'm going off of 20 years of saying one thing. So thank you, Chris. Thank you for being here. Hey, Chris, do you think we'll get snow this year? Georgetown, South Carolina. Joey, you've had more snow than I have in the lower parts of South Carolina where I live here close to the mountains. It's possible. I think we're going to have an active pattern. I'm really crunching my winter forecast numbers right now. It's like dusting it off. I'm very much in hurricane tropical mode. So to shift gears is what I'm doing in my brain. But I want to make sure that I kind of see a little bit more detail, a little bit more data before I release that. Probably coming within the next 2 weeks. Let's see. Gulf is quiet. Watching from the Tampa, Florida area, no worries about the seldom Debbie Downers. Everyone knows weather can change like a flick of the light switch. In Tampa, a sunny, beautiful day turns to a monsoon-type day and then back to sunny and beautiful within minutes. And people expect predictions to be dead on accurate 10 days out. No doubt. That's that and snow forecasting. Snow forecasting up here, I would imagine, is a lot like that in Tampa where you give it your best shot, you give it your best call. You're trying to give an early warning. Hey, that's the purpose of this YouTube channel right here, this Facebook page, this TikTok, wherever you might be watching from right now. That's the purpose of it, is to give you early warning, early identification to severe weather. So I go over all the details, so you're going to get it all. But that does come with, if you don't check in for 2 or 3 days, hey, you said it was going to be this. Well, hopefully in my videos I've couched it enough to where you know whenever my demeanor changes, if you've been with me through some of the big ones, which many of you have, been doing this for 20 years, you know when it's time to hunker down and really take it seriously. And I've got family, folks. I got 3 kids. I've got family all over Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and it means a lot to me to be able to have them call me up and say, "Hey, are we boarding up? Are we stocking up for big snow? What are we doing?" So I'll do the same for you. I'll give you that same information that I would give my family. Okay, so folks, if you're new to the channel, you like this level of forecasting, this no-nonsense approach, please like this video, comment in the comment section where you're watching from, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Each video, I do say hello to my friends, my family here, so please let me know in the comment section where you're watching from right now, and we'll say hello next time we talk. Until then, guys, have a great day.